All right, family. We get paid to read these books. Formal education to pay your living, with self-education to pay your fortune. This is my version of self-education. We're reading the books. I got to study what I'm reading, make notes. Got to think about what I'm reading to articulate my thoughts about it. All of that is part of the process of learning. I want you to do the same thing. You're reading, you take notes. If you're teaching other people, you got to learn, you got to study it harder to articulate your thoughts. That's what I call self-education. All right, now, in the book, this is Geno chapter 8. He's already won 2 national championships. He's recruiting Diana Taurasi. Diana Taurasi is the best player in the country. So Geno obviously wants her to play on this team, so he calls her up. He says, so I call her up. This page 162. So I call her up to let her know we're interested. At first, she sounds kind of blasé, bored even. She is the best player in the country. She's getting calls from absolutely everybody. I tell her a little bit about our program, and then I say, Diana, if you work really hard and do what I ask of you, you have a chance to be really good. All of a sudden, the light switches on. Suddenly, she becomes very animated and conversational. She starts asking me all sorts of questions about Connecticut. At that point, Diana got excited because she took that as a challenge. When he said, if you work hard, you got a chance to be good. Leaders look for challenges. We're not looking for anything easy. That's the insight. If you're looking for something easy, this isn't it. Most things that are worth it, where you actually change your life, are not going to be easy. They're just not. Just accept it. It's not going to be easy. The challenge is going to come. If you go talk to any leader to do anything big, they always got a mountain they're climbing. We just got to be bigger than the challenge. All right? And we are. We got to see ourselves that way. All right, number 2. Let's go on over here. So now, he's talking to Diana. He's recruiting her. And you're going to be the best player ever. So what happened? So we have won our second. This is on 166. Now, we have won our second national championship the season before that, beating Tennessee and Philadelphia. We already signed Diana. I'm holding up the Sears trophy up in the ballroom. I look out at the crowd, and I see a couple of my ex-players, and then I see Dee. She is smiling. She can't wait to get here. When she does, I sit her down. Now, listen to this. When she does, I sit her down, like all of my top players, and I ask her what she wants to be. And just like I had done with Rebecca and Nikesha and Sue Bird, Dee wants to be the best. It's really that simple. I say something to her I have never said to anyone else. I tell her, if you come to Connecticut and do what I tell you to do, you're going to be the best player who ever played this game. She looks right at me. She doesn't blink. She believes me because she's already thought of that herself. Teammates, listen to this. My insight is when, Nick Saban said this in a few books ago. He said, once a player tells me that they want to graduate and they want to go to the NFL, then I got them. Meaning, everything they do at that point, I'm all over them. How is that behavior helping you reach the goal? So my insight is you have to have a goal before you can have accountability. You can't just have accountability without a goal. In fact, I'll say it differently. There must be a commitment before accountability. You can't hold people accountable to something they haven't committed to. There has to be commitment before accountability. That part preaching better than y'all saying amen, Brother Ray. All right, now let's go on over here to insight number 3. Now, Diana, finally she's at Connecticut. And he's on her trying, teaching her their system, and they're running plays. They're doing drills and blah, blah, blah. So now, Diana, I guess, I don't know her. I've never really seen her play, but I'm imagining the way he's talking about it. She was just a gifted athlete. She was natural. She's just making all kinds of no-look passes. She is faster than most people on the court, blah, blah, blah. Now listen to this. He says, and then there are her, he's talking about, he's helping her get better, Teammates, if you're the coach, it's your job to prepare your team. It's your job to help them get better. You got to see what area they need to improve and then focus on pushing them in that direction. This is huge. And then there are her passes. She loves to fire these no-look passes to our players. She thinks nothing of driving the lane, then throwing this bullet over her right shoulder and expecting one of the kids on the baseline to catch it. Well, the problem is the kids don't catch them. I start practice and blow the whistle and say, "What the hell was that?" And she looks right back at me and says, "She should have been looking." No, wrong answer. Like I tell my players all the time, a good pass is one that gets caught and results in a score. Anything else is a lousy pass. We went through this with Veta, too. She tried to make these impossible passes. When the ball bounced off somebody's head, she put her hands up in disgust. I say to her, "What you think you're doing?" She answered me in her broken English. This is the girl that was from Russia. She answered me in her broken English with, "She no cut." I said to her, "What do you mean she no cut?" You're supposed to get her the ball in a place where she can catch it. If you don't, it's your fault, not her fault. That is the responsibility I give all the really good players. For a while, it's a real struggle for D. Teammates, listen to this. Listen to this. This is an insight. You're going to miss it. She said, he told her, it's your fault, not her fault. She threw the pass. The girl didn't catch it. She thought it was the girl's fault. Coach comes in and says, it's not her fault, it's your fault. The insight is, and it's more of a question, what are you thinking that, what are you blaming somebody else for? You thinking it's their fault and it's really your fault. What are you not taking responsibility for? If you're not growing, it's something you not taking responsibility for. You are blaming. Don't get. I promise you, you may not want to admit it. You may act like it ain't, but it's the truth. Just like he said in his book, it's not your fault. It's not her fault. It's your fault. The coach's job is to hold people accountable to that. What are you not taking responsibility for? It's not her fault. It's your fault. All right. Love you guys.